Okay, guys, so here's another video. We ended up staying in Cancun because our flight left without us. It left early. And here is some footage of the United Lounge that we got free with our United Explorer card, which they advertise on every flight quite a bit now. This just gives you an overview. Yes, all the food is free, and I think they have some free drinks and stuff like that. So, just in case you're wondering what the United Lounge looks like before we get right into the hotel review and comparison. I can't say that it's worth paying for the United Lounge. You can get some snacks and fill up, but it's too busy to really enjoy anyways. If you get it for free, use it. Long story short is on time, I guess, is not on time. So we ended up having to drive 2.5 hours to Cancun, stay there the night so that we could change our plane flight for the next day, which gave us the opportunity to directly compare this resort from Hilton, which is the Hilton Cancun Mar Caribe all-inclusive resort. So keep in mind, we only stayed one night, so we didn't get to utilize everything. We checked out a couple of the restaurants and tried to see what the experience would be like. So we have some very important comparisons. We booked the ocean view king bed, and we were immediately, instead of upgraded in Tulum, we were downgraded to a queen bedroom because they overbooked. However, the TV was bigger and the room didn't have any cleaning issue. There is not enough hot water to fill the tub with hot water. And the water doesn't get hot enough either. And this was the same price as our room in Tulum. The room is much smaller. It doesn't feel as jungle, tropical. It just feels kind of like a standard hotel room with Hilton. There's not as much space. There's not as much storage. As you can see, the balcony here does give you a good view of the property, and you can see the ocean back there. At night, everything looks really nice. It's lit up. This hotel was definitely more busy than the Tulum Hotel. However, this is still also off season, so this isn't as busy as it can be. If it was totally full, I don't know, it's pretty loud. Everything's concrete. It echoes a lot. So let's get straight to the food comparison. This is the dinner buffet, which was not available at the Tulum because of capacity. And they had some good options. Some of the food here was better than the food at Tulum, but then other food wasn't, which is really quite surprising that it wasn't just a standard set of better or worse. The pastries, for example, in Tulum were much better than the pastries here, but the beef in Cancun was much better than Tulum. As you can see, the dinner buffet has a lot more options than the buffets in Tulum. You have more stations to make quesadillas and pastas and different things like that as well. It was busier, so you had to wait at the stations for 5 to 6 people. Also, the benefit to this dinner buffet is it has a Brazilian steakhouse, you know, the thing where they bring you the meat. That's what I like the most about it. Otherwise, the rest of it was just okay. The pizza at the buffet was better than the pizza at the Italian restaurant in Tulum. So there are pros and cons as far as the food goes. It just kind of depends on which food you have, whether it's going to be better or worse. Even though the resorts have the same restaurants, the menus are different at those restaurants, so you can't expect the same thing at each resort. It's nice to walk around at night with how everything's lit, and they do have a nightclub on top of the roof, which was kind of funny because since it is a family place and the kids area is mixed in with the adults area, which is opposite to Tulum, we went up to the pop and dance floor, and it was mostly kids dancing around, so it's fine. But if you really want to go to the club, you're going to have to go into the city. And during the day, you can see the beach. There's some great views from the property. Beach is nicer and a little bit more well maintained than the Tulum beach. You can swim in there, but I found that there were big rocks in there as well. There is less seaweed in Cancun, so you don't have the smell of it either. I think the beach looks nicer in Tulum with the atmosphere than the Cancun one because it does look like you're just on a resort strip. It's not as nice to walk around because the property itself is just a giant concrete structure. Overall, what we decided on the Cancun versus Tulum experience is Tulum is much more private and less commercial feeling. The atmosphere is more relaxing. It's just a nicer area as far as going on vacation is. Tulum doesn't have as much of a party scene, so if you're single or you want to get shit-faced and you want to go out, then Cancun's going to be better. But if you're just going on vacation to relax, the whole atmosphere of Tulum versus Cancun and also the resorts, Tulum is much better. Another thing to note that is kind of odd to me is the beach is closed at night. Here's just an overview of the breakfast buffet, starting with the line that you have to stay in compared to Tulum, where you just pretty much walk in. And this kind of shows you that even though this is not full capacity right now, it is much busier. You do have to wait, you do have to walk around people. So in the busy season when this is filled up, man, this, I don't know. We didn't really enjoy it anyways. And for a note, we got the same deal on this room as we did in Tulum. So we paid the same price, and even at the same price, we wouldn't have enjoyed this one nearly as much, and possibly not even at all. If I were to recommend personally to somebody, I would say go to Tulum instead. You're gonna enjoy it a lot more. Everything is louder, so like the breakfast area is loud, where the Tulum one was quiet. Just the whole atmosphere. Pairing those directly, I don't see an advantage of going here unless the flights stop to Tulum, and that's 2.5 hours away and you're only staying for a couple days. Just another quick note too, the lobby was full of mosquitoes, and since we arrived in the evening, if we had our bug spray out, we would have sprayed just to get through the check-in process. Which is also interesting because even though Tulum's lobby is completely open and it's more in the jungle area, we didn't have any issues with mosquitoes as long as you stayed on the paths. So in closing, with the rooms being the same price, there is no way I would go to the Cancun resort over the Tulum resort. I can understand why some people would like this atmosphere, but it's not my thing. And if you want something peaceful and not commercial feeling, then this definitely is not for you.